Hey everyone, good evening. Today we're going to be talking to Michelle from Her Power Space and Her Power Moves. And Michelle is such a phenomenal and fantastic person who started a co-working location here in South Florida. And I had the honor of being there for her opening and for several events. And it's such a cool spot. And I can't wait for her to share with you guys how she got it started and her vision for it, and the future of what's coming with that. And it's I'm just waiting for her to join us. She's here. I can't wait to chat with her. She's super cool. And we're just waiting while everything gets connected. Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Tenille. How are you?
I'm great. I'm just making sure I could hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Am I too
Yes.
far? Oh, okay. Good.
Yes.
I'm doing different things around the space when I do
I
video now.
see that. Every time I see something, it's something new.
Yay. We like that.
I love it. No, it's a different angle. I mean, I know where it is because I've been to your spots, but
Exactly.
oh, I love it. I
Yes.
love what you're
Different
doing.
things. We'll see. We'll see. But
Yes.
definitely excited to see you. You look
I'm
really
excited to see you. Last time I saw you, we were at the event, our Fort Lauderdale bloggers event.
Yes.
With Danny Faust, and she was
Yes.
talking all the stuff about monetizing your blog.
So good. So good.
Another phenomenal person.
She's a queen of monetization.
Girl. she knows it inside and out. And with ease. Like it's effortless.
It just like flows, right?
Yes. And I was like, God bless. I wish it would just go into my brain, into my blog, and call it a day, but it doesn't work like that. And I was there for your grand opening.
Which I really appreciated. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't miss it. It was one of the first. And I want you to tell my audience a little bit about yourself and all the stuff that you do, because you have a bunch of things happening on your end. And also I want you to tell them how you came up with Her Power Moves and Her Power Space.
Yeah, it's a movement at this point,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It started with Her Power Hustle, the podcast.
Oh, okay.
The podcast I launched in 2015 as a way to help women who were sliding into my DMs saying, how can I launch a business, grow my business, get access? Because as you know, blogging is the best way to get access. And now
Yes.
and then podcasting came along.
Yes.
So I was getting all of these opportunities because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so women would see me on social media and wonder, well, how can I do that? And so after about a year, like 2013, 14, women were asking me, how do I do that too? And you know what it's like. It gets to a point where you're like, well, let me just find a way to tell everyone at the same time.
Yes.
So I launched the Her Power Hustle podcast in 2015. And the first 5 episodes were actually conversations with white guys having fun, which is based off of a book called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun by Reginald F. Lewis about entrepreneurship. And I wanted these white guys who were successful in business, like Guy Kawasaki from Apple, Peter Shankman from Harrow, help a reporter out, and other stuff, to talk to our audience, mainly women of color, Black women, about how to be successful in business from their perspective. Right. Yes. And so that launched the Her Power Hustle podcast in 2015, which then rolled into the Her Power Moves Sister Power Hustlers at first, now Her Power Moves community. And Her Power Space was opened in 2020 in January of this year.
Yes. And you also have a space in Jacksonville, correct? Or?
We have 3 chapters of the Her Power Moves community.
Okay.
So we have a Jacksonville chapter, a Broward County chapter, and a Miami-Dade County chapter. And what that is a way for women who are looking to make connections, who have ideas about businesses, who have businesses but aren't sure what to do next. And really our overarching mission is to decrease isolation, like eliminate isolation, because you've been up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like figuring out your WordPress site and your e-commerce store and stuff like that. It's very, very hard to be an entrepreneur by yourself. And so we wanted to have this community where you had both online and offline opportunities to connect. So we created my unnetworking events, which happen every other month when outside is open and we're allowed to like hang out. And so every other month, Jacksonville, Miami, and Broward, women come together and we have different spaces that we are located in here in Broward County. This is home base now. And the women, can you hear me? Oh, no worries. And so the women connect online.
Yeah.
And continue the connections online, and we actually meet in person every other month. So Jacksonville and Miami-Dade don't have spaces yet, but her Broward does have a space.
Okay, I guess I've spoken it into existence for the future.
I receive it.
Because I thought, I was like, oh, okay, so those spaces haven't opened because of COVID or something. And I was like, that's why I didn't hear about it. But I guess I'm foreseeing the future. So when it does open, remember me.
I will. We'll have to do like a tour, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Because I love what you have going on at your location in Fort Lauderdale. It does have a podcasting.
We have a podcast studio.
Yes. And it's very innovative and it's cool and it's cozy and just enough space to host events. And it's warm. You're engaging. I mean, it's a great place. I'm just sad that all of this is happening and I'm missing the connecting because, I love to network. And
we're the same way.
Yeah, because we met at Fort Lauderdale blogger events.
Yes, exactly.
And it was great when you opened up your spot. I was like, yeah, we got to go.
We're ready. Like, what's next? What's next? What's next? And that's what happened. We realized that our community needed something, and we're quote unquote out west. So in South Florida and Broward, we're on the Sunrise side. So like Sunrise, Lauderhill, Tamarack, Plantation, that area. And a lot of folks were like, we didn't have anything like this over here. So they showed up in the community, even through COVID and when we had to close and now we're easing back open, people have been supportive all along the way, So I'm just so thankful for our community, online and offline, who have supported us. It's amazing.
Yes. I mean, you're bringing people together. So of course, why not support you in this vision that you have going on? Absolutely.
And it's not just for us, it's for other people, like you said, to have their events here. Right? So we have the Fort Lauderdale Bloggers Union. We have different people who bring in their legal clients and office space to sit down and just not be in Starbucks and have a place that is suited to what they need. So I'm super excited about that. But it's crazy because it was not something like on my Pinterest board of things that I was planning to do in life. And then the opportunity just kept rising up in my spirit. Like you need a space, you keep trying to find a space every other month. You're shopping for spaces to host and you just need a home base. And then everything kind of aligned from there.
I mean, this space is an up level from Starbucks. Because I mean, Starbucks, it's noisy, it's crowded, it's got so much going on. When you go to your spot, I felt like I could concentrate, I could focus, I felt the energy, and you could brainstorm with other people that are there and just communicate and build the community. Right. And that's something I'm all about. Let's build community, let's support one another, because I mean, that's the only, we all win.
Yes,
and we are winning. Yes.
Hey, Natasha, the diamond butterfly. I can't see because I don't have my glasses. I'm like,
it's okay. I get up close too. So tell us more about your journey, how you got to the podcast and how you got to starting your business and how you got there.
Well, I went, after I graduated high school, I went straight into the workforce. And I thought I was going to go into the military. My life took a total change. I met the guy who was going to be my first husband. And, by the time I was 22, I had 2 kids and I was a divorced single mom. And I was going to community college at night, trying to figure out like, what's next? I was just like all over the place. I was so young. Looking back now, it's like, oh my God, I was a baby. Like my kids are older than I was then, right? And, after like 10 years of community college, the kids and I transferred up to Cornell. We were there for 3 years, and then we went to law school at Penn. And I had this experience of being this 27-year-old undergrad, right? Living on campus and with my kids. And this was a very different experience that they consider a non-traditional experience, to say the least, right?
Okay.
So I was a non-traditional student. And when I got to law school, I felt really isolated. I was the only parent whose kids lived with them. Everyone else who were parents, and there weren't a lot, their kids lived with their parents, right? So they were able to fully focus on studying and all of that. And I didn't have that quote unquote luxury, but I had the luxury of my kids being with me. But I still felt very isolated and lonely. And so I wrote my first blog post on Blogger. And this was like 2002, 2003, something like that. And it was about being a non-traditional student. And I put it out there and people started responding. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like I'm not really alone, thank you. And just fast forward, after graduating law school and practicing law, wrote a book about online dating and hit Twitter really hard to publish and get noticed for this self-published book that I wrote with a guy that I met online after we broke up. And so,
I didn't know this. That's why I'm like, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You had that nugget hidden. I didn't know about that. That's a new one on me. Okay,
Yeah,
please continue. Tell me more.
So we wrote this book called Don't Do What We Did, right? And so, and we meant it. But then we hit Twitter really hard. And I started sort of inserting myself. You know how Twitter goes, right? And this is 2011. So I'm like inserting myself in conversations, and Ebony Magazine, like the Ebony Magazine, one of their editors came into my inbox and said, can we feature you? I almost fell out. I was like, are you crazy? Yes, what do we need to do? You need blood? Like, what do you need? We're in. And I was hooked on social media from that moment. So that's 2011. I've been hooked on social media ever since. I actually recorded my very first podcast episode in 2009 called Dust Off Your Dream. And it was talking about being this non-traditional student and not deferring dreams because of life circumstances. So it was kind of like this motivational, just because you have kids doesn't mean you can't live your life too, kind of podcast. And then everything since then is just kind of just unfurled in a way that is really powered by social media.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still reeling about the Twitter and book and topic of the book. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah. Wow. So that's amazing. So your journey is a true testament of social media.
Yeah.
Of the power of social media.
Absolutely. I'm a maven on social media. I'm a social media maven. And actually, social media has opened so many doors for me. And speaking of maven, when President Obama was in office, his last State of the Union, or his second to last State of the Union, one of his State of the Unions, I can't even remember anymore. It's been a minute. They put out a call for social media mavens and invited us to come and cover his State of the Union from the White House. So there is like, I am a social media zealot. I love social media. I'm not on Twitter as much, but I pretty much have a presence everywhere but TikTok.
Yeah, well, I mean, the news today coming about TikTok. Yes. So we're gonna, and I love TikTok. TikTok is such a big distraction for me. I could spend hours just watching funny videos and
I love it.
Videos. Yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah. So it's, we'll see what's going to happen with that. But I know you have a presence because we're Facebook friends.
Right.
So we're on there.
Yes.
And I see you posting on there, and you're posting on Instagram, and you are on it on both platforms for multiple accounts.
Yes, exactly.
So I just want to applaud you for doing that and running your business and doing your thing and still looking fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and do it all.
I'm going to stand up. I want to dress.
Yeah. I mean, this is we have to connect somehow, and I'm just happy that I've started doing this so I get to chat with my friends online and people get to watch.
They've been so great. I've been watching you. It's just really great guests that you have on. You ask great questions. I love it. Amazing community. It's awesome.
Yes, these are all people that I connect with behind the scenes on the DMs.
Right.
And so it's like, let's chat out front. Let's just share the great wealth, because we're talking about great stuff behind the scenes. Why not share it with other people?
That's so true.
Which is similar to what you did with your book and what you did with your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So now where do you find yourself? You're in you have your established community, you have your brick and mortar business, you have connections like crazy in the community. Because I see that you have other speaking engagements and connections happening. So where, I mean, COVID, we don't know what's happening with COVID because our numbers are crazy. They keep going up. Every morning we wake up, there's more thousands of people.
Yes.
But in the future, where do you see your brick and mortar business? Where do you see, I already said you're going to have multiple locations. So that's
I received that. That is the plan. Trust me. You're speaking it. You are just affirming what I've asked for. Definitely.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for
Amen.
that.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So like, where do you see your business going? Where do you see Michelle going? Because Michelle's so multifaceted.
Yeah. And I think that that's probably something that so many of us find as a challenge, is to be a multi-passionate multipreneur. Because a lot of times they say, if you want to be wealthy, you need to have at least 7 streams of income, right?
Yes.
And I would have trips. So it's like you go over here and it's like, I love this thing. Okay, I made some money there. That was fun. Okay, and then you go over here and okay, I made a little bit of money over here and that was fun. And you just feel so many tugs on your attention and your gifts, right? And so what I find has been really helpful is being really clear as to who I am as a personal brand, and then what am I creating as a corporate brand, and focusing only on those two, but they're threaded together by relationships. So I consider myself like a relationship marketer. So it's all about how can I help you, even with, you know, we have the They Met Online podcast too, which is another conversation. But the point is that even everything that I've done has been about empowering women from the bedroom to the boardroom, right? And so what does that look like? That looks like building really strong relationships. And so for Michelle Y. Talbert Esquire, right, the consultant, I help people expand their platforms. I can go in and talk with groups and companies and organizations and work with individuals who want to get their story out or want to create community. Like right now, with all that's going on, there are a lot of corporations that are like, oh man, we don't have any Black people. Like, how does that work? You know, what should we do? Where do we turn? And a big part of that is because they hadn't thought about it. They didn't know how to build the relationships. And now they have to learn quickly how to build these relationships if they really want to be a sustainable business, because people are voting with their dollars and saying, I'm not buying from you. Your corporate board doesn't reflect me. Right? And so I can go in and say, well, let's talk about what is the environment like? What are the relationship within your company and the culture of the company for your people to want to come and not leave, right? Yes. So that's the Michelle personal, you know, I'm even making memes. Let's be honest. I lost 95% income in her power space the very first month COVID hit. And it's only gone up just a little bit that I've increased income, you know, from the space itself. And so I had to think creatively of other ways. And amazingly, people reached out to me and were like, Michelle, would you help me with my Instagram ads? Michelle, will you make memes for my business? I'm literally making memes for people. But they saw the gifts, and now I'm able to sort of leverage them in a time when my income was very challenged. And then the corporate side is the Her Power Moves, the Her Power movement of eliminating isolation and increasing wealth for women, side hustlers, and solopreneurs. So whatever that looks like, whether that's Her Power Moves, Her Power Spaces located in different cities across America, ways for women who are entrepreneurs or have ideas to have community and increase their wealth. And it's the relationships again.
That's awesome. And that's awesome. And I'm glad that you spoke about the impact that COVID has had on your brick and mortar business, because a lot of people, they are saying that it's unfortunate that this has happened, because a lot of small businesses have been impacted severely because of everything being shut down and just the fear of going out and contracting this virus. And, you know, it's a crapshoot. You don't know if you're gonna survive it or if you're gonna get really ill. There's so many factors
Right.
that can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
But your outlook and your innovation of making things work is just a true testament of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing what you need to do to make sure that that stuff is still happening.
It took a minute though. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the fetal position sucking my thumb
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks. And what happened is that, I feel that I'm a leader and I have a community who's looking to me and they were hurting as well. And I needed to turn outward because the more I focused inward, the sadder I got, the more woe is me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I couldn't even get clarity of thought because I literally woke up feeling like somebody was holding onto my throat like this every morning when everything started happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, I thought I was in alignment. How could this be happening? It feels so personal. It's a global pandemic that feels so personal. And so every morning well, not always morning, because sometimes it's afternoon, but every day I decided I'm going I called it her light instead of highlight. So every day I did a her power, her light. And I just picked random women from our community. And I was like, this person is great. She has these lashes. This person is great. She's building this business. This person is great. And I just kept focusing outward and saying, how can I help? How can I be of service? I don't have a lot. I don't know, but I'm going to give what I have. And what I have is my platform and my voice, right? And so if I can share that with others and expand it, and so by early May, we launched the No Small Business Left Behind virtual summit as a way for small business owners to get a day of information so they could crowdfund their own PPPs and do all kinds of things that help them raise money, think strategically, think creatively in other ways of how do I expand in a period of contraction. And now we just held the second one, which was focused on brick and mortar. And that was this past Wednesday. And then on August 15th, we're doing the next one, which will be focused on vendors. So we're taking the typical vendor fair virtual and sharing it across co-working spaces owned by Black women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're infusing two things at the same time and impacting so many by doing that. That's such a great idea, Michelle.
Yeah. And so through all of that, I've started to I wake up and I'm so happy now because okay, every bill ain't paid, but you know what? A lot of people's every bill isn't paid, even when we don't have COVID. So what are we gonna do today? How can we make money today? And literally, I feel like I'm spinning threads of gold from nothing between relationships and the people who we're helping, and now income that's coming in for me through other channels. And it's like, I can breathe. What can we do creatively today? I can breathe. Because when you wake up feeling like this, all you can think about is, how can I breathe?
Yes.
Right? You can't focus outward.
And you are in alignment. You are in alignment. You were supposed to be where you are at the moment that you're supposed to be. And you had to go through that. I mean, I always firm believer that everything we go through is teaching us a lesson and an experience for the day of tomorrow.
But I'm ready to be done. They say, well, God doesn't give you anything to make you strong. I'm like, I'm strong enough, God. Lord, help me stop. I'm good.
No, trust, fetal position, shower cries, why? But when you take a moment to reflect and you're meditating and you're just thinking, there has to be a purpose and a reason behind everything that's happening.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So
you're in alignment. You're in alignment. This is awesome.
Yes. I mean, I try. I feel like I am. I pray. Sometimes I question everything I do, but I was like, I have to trust. And that has been one of the focuses this year, that I was like, I'm going to trust. I'm going to push through the fear.
Yeah.
I don't like video.
Right. Oh my, see, now that I would never know, because you're really a natural. You're absolutely a natural.
That comes from many years of teaching and engaging children. That's why.
That's a tough audience.
Yes. And I've done high school and middle school, currently middle school.
Yeah.
And it's been there, and I'm great with them. It's this video and talking to myself. That's where I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand.
But
I
as long as
understand.
I have my friends with me, I'm good. I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna push
Everybody
through.
needs a ride or
Right?
die.
I have a few. I have a few. So
Exactly.
I'm
I
proud
know
of
it's
that.
fun. For sure you do. I'm in there. I hope you're counting
Yes.
with it, for sure.
Yes,
Definitely.
I have a whole crew. So with that in mind, what recommendations? So you've done the entrepreneurship. You started with a purpose and a passion. Well, actually, it was you wanted to share your story. I'm sure you didn't foresee, you know, no magazine calling you or Twitter blowing up the way it did, and you didn't see that coming. You followed a passion,
Yeah.
and it led to a purpose. So what do you recommend that person that they want to start something, but they really don't know what to start?
Sure. Um, I think we all kind of know what to start. We just are afraid to take the first step to do it. Right? There's always an inkling. There's always an inkling. Now, what you do with that inkling, you may push it down, but it's in there. And it could be something as simple as I heard a preacher, Bishop T.D. Jakes, talking about this. If you are sitting in a pew and someone's on stage singing and you're like, how'd she get that note? No, I could have done that better. That might be it. Right? There are certain things that you see, and everybody else is like, what are you talking about? That was perfect. And you're like, no, that hem is crooked. That is out of place over there. I'm an interior designer. I'm a seamstress, right? There are things that just irk you when they're done incorrectly, and you realize, hey, that's my gift. It bothers me because I know how to do it so well. Right? And so if you see like a janky Pinterest account, you're like, let me help them. Please, I feel bad for you. I want better for you. When you find yourself having that feeling, move on it. Move on it. If you can sing better than her, ask to sing. Join the choir. Get the solo. Just do the one thing. Because the one thing leads to the next thing. People, every social media account of the big three that I have were created for me by other people. I was told to get on Twitter by a friend of mine who's a millennial. My sister created my Facebook page, my first original Facebook personal profile, and my cousin created my Instagram page. They were like, you need to be on this. You need to be on. I was like, no, I don't. And now I'm wanting more than they are. So there was an inkling there that I needed to communicate. And then people showed up to even help me along that path. And I just believe that from The Alchemist. Once you decide, the universe conspires to help you make it happen, but just make a decision.
See, that's why we're friends. You just quoted my favorite book.
Is it? Oh my God.
Absolute favorite book.
So good. So
Absolute.
Good. I listen to it at least once a year.
Yeah. I have my first original copy with all the underlining, all the strategies I teach the kids, all the stuff. And I love that. Is a treasure to me. And I'm telling you, it's close to me. Oh, I don't even want to say how old it is. Yeah, it's old.
It's okay. We're in this together, and I'm like 20 years older than you. So you're okay.
No, you're not. No, you're not. We'll talk more about that in person. We're going to talk age.
Copious amounts of wine.
Oh, yeah. You might get weight. Yeah. Yes. 20 years. Nope, Michelle. Okay. No. Mm-mm. I just look young.
Take it.
Thank you. So I love the way you put that in perspective. I had never thought of it that way, where you have an eye or an affinity for something, but you don't realize that could be it. That could be your one thing.
It could. And envy is another call to action. Right? I want that. Well, then do what it takes to get it. Because if that's what you want, do what it takes. Go get it. Not that person's, but your version of it. I don't want to be Oprah, but I do want to speak on stages. I do want to use my communication skills, right? And I've honed them, and I didn't even know why. But I started talking, I cracked the mic on the podcast and just started running my mouth.
Yeah.
It's so random. In 2009, there was no Black woman on iTunes except me in 2009 that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
You know, so just do the thing, even if it hasn't been done before. Do the thing.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. Okay, so I love that you've created a community where people, me, everyone else can go and ask questions.
Sure.
and get a plan together. So once they know the thing that they want to do, or they have an idea of what they want to do,
sure,
and they've done some research and that envy is there and they're ready, what would be the next step for this person?
Find the balance between sharing and keeping things close to the vest. Mm-hmm. And that one is a scary one, because in terms of, if you've ever seen someone who's pregnant and they show you the ultrasound and you're like, what am I looking at here, right? What is this? But they're like, oh my God, my baby, it's my baby. And you're like, I just see it looks actually like a hurricane, right? So showing it to someone else too soon when it's kind of gestating can be damaging if they don't get it. And then now you have to explain it. No, the head is here. The feet are there. And that can take energy away from just continuing to nurture and build. Yeah. But by the same token, you still talk to your doctor. Mm-hmm. You still talk to your other friends because they understand how to help you nurture that life. And so with that, I don't say keep everything a secret, but I also say don't share it too soon. Mm-hmm. And be discerning about the people you're sharing with. Because everybody can't go where you're going. Some people may have their own envy and not know how to deal with that. So you have to be careful. So find that balance because you do need community. You do need people who get it. You do need some folks who are a little bit ahead of you, some folks who are right there in the trenches with you. And then you got to reach back and pull people along. No matter where you are in your journey, trust me, there's somebody behind you going, I want that spot. And I'm like, you can have it because I'm going to move on and let me show you how to do it, right?
Yes.
That's the next step. So figure it out, move on the inkling, get community, but also get quiet. Mm-hmm. Everything doesn't have to be shared. People think they know me from social media, but it's very strategic. I'm not sharing pictures with Bay and Boo and all of that. It's very strategic what I share, but you can still feel like you have a connection with someone, but also still maintain your privacy and maintain your space for creativity. Yeah. So that's kind of, those are the first and second steps, I would say. Do something. Once you got it, do the research, and then get community around you who's good, who nurtures that. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you deal with fear? Because I know I struggle with it. I know what helps me is a lot of journaling, a lot of prayer, a lot of prayer. So how do you deal with fear? Because once you find that purpose, that passion that you have, and you're going to take that step, and then you start in the process and you start to speak about it, and people don't see your vision, because I've encountered that. There's people in my family that they don't see or understand my vision, and that's okay. They'll see it once I get there. But how do you deal? You have your community, but then how do you deal with the fear within?
There are a couple of ways, but one thing I do is I don't call it fear.
Okay.
So I remember I was about 18, 19 in communications class, my first ever communications class. And we had a group presentation at the end. And all of us were required to speak for a few minutes of our group presentation. Mm-hmm. And I realized in that moment that I don't think I'd ever done a group presentation before, or a presentation where I stood at the front of the room. Answering questions from your desk is very different than having all of the energy in the room focused on you. Mm-hmm. And I just remember trembling. Like, I can go right back to that moment, and it's almost 40 years ago. Well, no, 30 years ago. Over 30 years ago. And my palms were sweating. I was literally like rubbing my leg. The professor was like, you could sit down to give the, I made everybody else uncomfortable. right? I was so afraid, right? It was
Mhm.
so hard to do, but I did do it. And then I beat myself up all the way home in the car. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that you did that. Like, I didn't congratulate myself, like, girl, you made it through it. It was, well, you could have done this better. Maybe you should practice more. All those things, right? And that was a big fear for me. Public speaking was a huge fear for me. And then over time, I realized that's your gift. So now what are you going to do? Because if your gift is the thing you're afraid of, what do you, right? You
Yeah.
can't phone it in. This was before cell phones and video and all that other stuff, right?
Yep.
So I have renamed my fear something else, which I'll explain.
Okay.
I was on Fashion Nova. And so all this time I've been public speaking, but still saying I get stage fright. I get stage fright. I'm afraid before I go. I get these like that clammy feeling in my hands and my throat tightens and my heart is racing. And one day I was on Fashion Nova and there's an app called Honey. And Honey will find you discounts on any online site if you have it on your desktop as an extension. I love Honey. Honey is like finding all the discounts. And I found myself getting clammy and it was like going through the different codes, right? And the price was like going up and down. And I'm getting chills right now talking about a freaking Fashion Nova price finder, right? And I am getting chills and I'm clammy and I'm like, this is what I feel like before I go on stage, and I'm not afraid right now. I'm excited. I'm excited about this 35% off plus free shipping. I'm gonna get on these bootylicious jeans I'm about to put on my booty. I realize we call it fear, and it may just be excitement, but we're so used to labeling those physiological things that we feel. I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me. Those physiological whatever tingles and stuff, and you realize, oh shoot, sorry, I'm cursing.
No, you're fine.
Oh shoot, I'm excited to go on stage. And as soon as that shift, you read the alphabet. As soon as that shift happened, I was like, hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Michelle Talbert, and my heart is racing. But it's not fear, it's excitement about what I'm getting ready to share and what they're getting ready to share with me. So I say that to say, apply that wherever the fear is. Because public speaking, right? More people are afraid of public speaking than dying.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I felt that way, but it was my gift. And I had to figure out a way around it, and Fashion Nova to the rescue.
Wow. I just love the connection. And you know what? You've transformed a bit of my thinking. Now when I write, I'm not going to write out of fear, but the excitement and the possibilities.
You have a story to tell. Wait till someone reads it. Is this going to connect? Like, those are things that you can flip it and say, oh, is this going to connect? Or is this going to connect?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in how you think about it. It's all in how you approach it.
And we all feel it. So don't think I'm being flippant. I'm afraid the lights will get turned off, or I will not get it, that the rent won't get made. Yes, those are really valid fears. Anything is a valid fear, but just try to reframe it in your mind. If it's going to debilitate you, then use wording and use, associations that help you move forward. Because this is really just about taking the next step. Whatever it takes to take that next step, do.
Yeah. No, you've got me thinking. I'm like, okay, so when I journal tonight, I'm going to have to switch some words up.
Nice.
Can't use that fear. No, we're going to use excitement.
Because
it is the same. It's the same energy. It's the same energy. You start to lose your breath and you're all like, you feel like you're going to pass out.
Right. You do.
Yes.
You're sweating and you're like, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what is, from all of your experiences as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I'm just reading her comment. She says, I'll be journaling also. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy you're here, Amy.
Oh, what's her name?
Amy T. Coachman.
Nice. Oh, hey, Amy. Yay.
I'm happy you're here. From all of your experiences, because you've had the experience as being a mom pursuing your law degree. You've had the experience of your blog. You've had the experience of a podcast. You've had the experience of building your own brick and mortar and building all of these connections. What has been one of your favorite or best experiences? In whichever one. I'm going to let you pick, because I'm just happy that I learned something new about you today. I didn't know about the Twitter and book thing. So we're going to talk more about that in the future, because I have lots of questions, and I don't want to ask those questions here because
Absolutely. I am at your disposal at any time, Tenille. You know that. So you kind of lumped in I was a mom. So can I take that out of that? What's your favorite? Because that is hands down the best thing I've ever done in my entire life. Is those two human beings. One of whom will be 30 this year. The other one is 31. And I have a grandson who's 6. So we got.
You said 6?
6. My grandson. Yeah, you keep thinking you're not as young. Yeah.
No, we're probably closer in age. You swear? No.
I came out the womb pregnant.
No. Well, I'm sorry, but grandma's looking good.
I'll take
6?
it. I will
That's
take
why
it.
I had to
All this
wait. Did I hear? No.
All this corona gray, like nobody can color their hair or get their nails done.
I went and got my hair cut because my hair was too long.
I'm so jealous.
I'm jealous. And I sat there holding the mask the whole time.
But it was worth it. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. But I was like, I am not letting go of this. So, and luckily she only has like a 1-room salon, so it was just me.
Just the two of you, yeah.
And she cleans in and so I was like, I'm not playing around. I don't. So aside from being hot grandma, we're taking mom out of the mix because those are your babies. That's above all.
Absolutely.
So the law, I want to say, because it's also an experience of you I'm sure learned a lot of lessons being a mom, juggling law school. Law school's not easy. No. That is not easy. And then you ventured out on other things when a lot of people weren't doing it.
Yeah.
So
it's this feeling where it's like, when you move and other people aren't moving or they don't get it, this is why I say kind of hold things close to the vest. Because in my case, nobody else was podcasting in 2009 that looked like me, right, that I knew. Yeah. So, I would say that the overarching favorite thing is that I've been allowed access because of my platforms. Right? So whether it's through writing for publications or writing for online publications or using the podcast, I still have my lavalier mics in my purse at all times, right? It plugs right into my phone. I have a double lav and a single lav in my purse to this day. I haven't released an episode of my podcast since 2016. They're all still getting downloaded every month. So it's really important to create your content and put it into the world because you don't know who's watching and you don't know when they're going to show up, right? You can put something in the world today and someone will call you, Tenille, and say, you remember when you did that IG live back in July 2020? Can you talk to us about your experience of going to the salon and holding your mask like this, right? But it's true. That's why we have to get it up and out of us. Yeah. Because if it stays in here, we do no one any justice, and we beat ourselves up because we're not doing it. And then we just feel tired, and then it's just a cycle and nothing gets done, right? Yeah. And no one gets impacted. So the favorite thing for me has been the impact. Like I was able to be at because of blogging and podcasting and writing for Black Enterprise, I was able to be a member of the press for a Business Insider, really intimate conference. And I met Mark Cuban, and Jeff Bezos was like 3 feet from me. Like he never comes out the house, right? Jeff Bezos was speaking. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting here like learning. I'm like tweeting about it. And I'm like, I am soaking up. Now, I remember I started with, I talk about white guys, right? Yeah. Because they figured all this shit out. Mm-hmm. So let's learn, implement what works for us, and keep it moving. because
Yeah.
they don't fear us as women of color and Black women. They're like, I'll tell you, I don't mind telling you. And then next thing you know, we're Michelle Obama, right? But I was there getting that information. And I've been able to cover the NAACP Image Awards. So I breathe the same air as Will and Jada and Tracy Ross and Taraji P. Henson. All of this because of social media and sharing content.
Mm-hmm.
Because I write, I talk. If you give me a way to get words out into the world, I will take it.
That is amazing.
And people listen. I talk about everything, right?
Yeah.
I talk about everything that matters to me. And
Yes.
it resonates because a lot of the things that matter to me matter to other people. And I'm not afraid to share, even controversial, unpopular opinions. Mm-hmm. So whatever that looks like for you, don't follow in my footsteps. Make your own footpath, but know that there are people on that path that's parallel to you that are here, and reach out to us when you need us. You know?
Yes.
So for me, it's the access and the ability to have the impact. So that it ties all of that together is my favorites.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very keen on gut feelings and vibes. And when I first met you, and I can't remember which event because we put on so many events.
I think it was when I did the podcast presentation over in Fort Lauderdale at the coffee spot. You know, the big place.
Cafe Collective? Was it that one? I don't remember.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was like 2016 or something like that.
No, I wasn't part of Fort Lauderdale back then. Yeah, I started in 2018.
Yeah. We might have met at Danny's for the first time.
Could be.
And I know we did the startup weekend competition together.
Yes.
There.
And then the SEO one, because we've seen each other at multiple ones.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I can never place someone exactly the first time I met because my brain just doesn't work that way.
Only once in a while can I do it.
Yeah, but I do remember the impact and connection that I have with people, whether I like them off the bat.
Yeah.
Off the bat. Yeah. So, and you were one of those people.
And I thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't take that lightly at all. Thank you.
Oh.
There's this saying like Brad Pitt, you know how some of his kids are bio kids and some are adopted?
Yes.
And he quoted this saying that is, some of my kids are adopted and some of my kids are biological. I don't know who's who. And so for me, some people I meet online and some people I meet offline, and I don't know who's who. Like even with the connection, like did we meet online first and then meet in person or vice versa? Have we never met in person, but yet I feel like we've met in person? You know, it's a beautiful world we live in terms of being able to create relationships and leverage those relationships for success. Don't get it twisted. It is okay to ask people you know for things.
Of course. Of course.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's on how you use it. You could use social media for this benefit to connect and engage and to build yourself and build your business and just grow from it. Right. Or you can go on the flip side of it.
Right.
Because we know that other side.
Yeah.
And that's not the happy side. And and you know, some people accuse me of being the eternal optimist. I've been told that, and I said, but because we have to see the brighter side in this. If we stay stuck in negativity and on the other side, there's no way for us to grow.
And I say process it. I totally agree with you. It's like process it. If something is negative, you don't have to ignore it, but process it in a way that you don't get mired down in it, or that you don't stay mired down for too long. Right? But there's a lot of heavy shit going on right now.
It is. And either you can jump into action about it, speak your voice, find your voice about it, or you can just feel hopeless and helpless and not do anything. Because everyone has an inch and a level of power because of social media.
Yeah, but you can also do both. I know this sounds crazy, but this morning I was like listening to Stevie Wonder, and it was like, what the world's in need of love today. And the tears just, I was like, this shit is hitting me so different right now, you know? So it's tough.
this. I'm sorry.
No, I put on my D&D. The question is, am I going to remember to turn off my D&D when we're finished? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll send you a message.
I was
Well,
going to
no,
say
it won't
3
even go
days
through. You're gonna have
later,
to see it.
my
No,
kids are going to be
and
like, where are you? Where'd you go?
And I forget to put it on. There's times that I remember, and then, you know.
I didn't want to mess up your life. Like, I mess up mine all the time, but I don't want to mess up yours.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so like we were saying, it is very emotional. It is heavy. There's times that I go to sleep, and sometimes I don't even sleep.
Right.
Because I watched something right before I went to sleep, or something's been heavy on my mind. Like I can't watch the news. After a certain time in the day, I was like, I'm gonna have to pick this up tomorrow morning, because if not, I won't sleep.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So,
yeah,
but we have to remain active, and we have to continue to use our voices in the best way possible, and to elevate and lift other people up and lift ourselves up, because if not,
or rage against the machine.
yes,
I'm okay with those too, right? Because I believe we need balance. That's the key, right? And I'll just get political just for a quick second.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Kaepernick kneeled, right? Okay. Martin Luther King walked. Malcolm X was like, by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z came in and was like, I'm a billionaire. I dare you to tell me that you're not going to listen to me. Yeah. So we need everybody to do their role, because that's how we have the change move forward. I'm a Black woman. Right now, I'm feeling a lot of things, right? And we've been feeling things for 400 years. And so we need people all along the way, and allies around us, right? All of us do. Whether you're a woman, indigenous, a person of color, whatever, LGBTQIA, any of those things, you need to have your voice heard in the way that's authentic to you, and not allow anyone or have anyone from the outside try to say, that's not how we do that. That's not how we make change. Well, MF, that's how I'm making change today. And I dare you to try. But that's how I do it, right? And so everybody from their own lane, whatever that looks like, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's civil unrest, civil disobedience, whether it's calling to finally get the cops arrested for Breonna Taylor's murder, whatever that looks like, if you write a letter, if you just tell somebody else, if you just check someone else, right? If you make money, if you donate money, making money is an act of resistance. Do you think they will listen to Jay-Z, the drug dealer?
No.
And even if he made money, right? Maybe. No. So we all have our role to play. But the sooner we find out what it is, entrepreneurship, in life, parenthood, lovers, whatever that is, just be authentic and then walk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Yep. You're right. Yes. So
I love you. You're so wonderful.
Love you too.
You are, because you're like so placid, and I'm like, argh!
No. See, and a lot of people, they see me as calm because I'm very
even keel.
But trust, it's
underneath.
happening.
You're like a duck. Are you like
a duck? It comes from a lot of training. It comes from a lot of training, and it's happening.
I understand.
It's just you have to keep it in check.
I understand.
I mean, me. Now, other people, there's people that elevate their voice and they get it out there. I simmer.
But you're an ally too, in that you may go into someone's DM and say, "Did you see this article? Did you hear that this is going on? Let's, I'm sharing this with you so you can take it to the next level." And that's what I love, because we're all watching each other's backs.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And that is in everything we do. And that's why I'm a relationship marketer. But I didn't even name it that until last year. I was like, I market and I help people with relationships. You know what? I'm a relationship marketer.
No, and I like the way you said that. It's true. It's true.
I figured it out, right?
Yeah. So you coined something else. I love that too.
Yeah.
I love that too.
No,
that allyship, it's serious, because I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for allyship.
Right. Didn't you say you had a conversation with your family, I think, and And your dad shared about something else,
Yes.
and just like there was this cathartic moment for all of
Yes.
you to have a safe space. I'm just going to
Mhm.
do this plug for her power space.
Yeah.
Brick and mortars are important so that we have
Yes.
places where we can come and feel safe, and places where we can have an exchange
Mm-hmm.
where we know it will be respected and
Yep.
received, even if you disagree. We don't have to be disagreeable,
Yes.
right? So we all have our role to play. And,
Yes.
and, and I'm so thankful to you, for sharing your
Yeah.
story.
I'm thankful for you sharing as well. Yeah, that conversation happened on Father's Day, and it was so unexpected, and we weren't expecting. Um, I honestly wasn't expecting that conversation to happen, but as soon as everyone started to chime in their experience with being a person of color in the United States,
Right.
and all the struggles, and person of color, because if you see my mom, she's very fair, but my dad is dark, and they have experiences because they're Hispanic or Latino. They've had experiences that were not of what white America experiences.
Absolutely.
So when they started to share stuff, and you see stuff that's never really been spoken about, and you're like, wow, I didn't know you went through that. I didn't know you experienced that. And you take a deep breath and you see everything that's happening in the world, and you decide at that moment that you're going to take a stand, you're going to speak up, you're going to, even though you've always been an ally, but now you're even more vocal about it.
Sure. And I think
So,
that's the important part about building relationships, because a
mhm.
relationship is based typically on communication of some sort. And that communication humanizes us to one another. And then when we feel like we're human, we can connect. And when we can connect, we can empathize or sympathize. I mean, even if you don't get it, you can at least say, but I like you and I don't want to see you hurt. So
Yeah.
how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
But it all stems from how do we make those connections, and then where are we safe, and can we share what we're really feeling? And then can we listen? Can we
Mm-hmm.
receive? Can we just make space or stand with someone? I don't
Yeah.
take it lightly that I have the education that I have, or the gift of gab that I have. I don't
Mm-hmm.
take that lightly. So
Yeah.
I know that that's a certain type of privilege for me to have
Mm-hmm.
access. Right? And I don't take access lightly.
Or platform.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So can I share? Can
Mm-hmm.
I share my platform? You're sharing your platform with me, and I'm so thankful to you for asking me to do it, because I just watch you. I'm like, oh, she just asked me. I'm so excited. That's my wore dress.
I love it. I love it.
I just appreciate you, and we all do our part. It'll all get done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I'm going to continue to share my platform.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
not as constant, because I jumped on it and I was like, I have some time right now. And I just went crazy. And I was like, what did I
Life
just do to myself?
right, exactly. Oh, shit. Uh-oh.
I was like,
Uh-oh.
okay, I envisioned this totally different, but okay, I'm gonna go with it. I put it out there in the world, and I listened. I listened to the calling, and I did it. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't think this all the way through, but I'm
Right.
committed. So
Right.
we're doing this.
Right.
So I definitely want to continue to amplify voices on my platform, especially of people within my community
Sure.
that are close by. And I want to make sure that everyone gets to experience what I see.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm going to support and amplify. Um, and I usually don't follow people that aren't doing something phenomenal. So I'm just glad that you were able to join me. You were able to share some great golden nuggets, that we were able to talk about things that are happening currently in the world.
Totally was not on plan. I don't know.
No, but see,
I'm thankful to you for allowing that space.
no, of course. And that's what I'm talking about, alignment, because I'm a firm believer. Even though that's one of my trigger words, but that's from another experience that happened to me at a school site. Yeah. So that word, every time they would say it, would trigger me, but I've learned to embrace it, because what just happened right now happened because we were in alignment.
Absolutely. And
because
and the folks watching were
yes,
throwing up hearts, and I'm like a ham.
yes.
So if you throw up hearts, I'm gonna keep talking. So I'm like, I want to make Tenille look good. If they're hearting it, okay, all right, we're
Yes,
doing our thing. But it's true the alignment of all of us in this experience, and
yes,
anyone who watches the replay. You know,
yes.
we're in this wherever you are. We're in
And I
this together.
welcome them to watch it because
Absolutely.
you dropped, I'm sorry, I always do
That's
that.
okay, girl. You're